Starting off with Big Bear, and I've got him at neutral. Now Big Bear doesn't get a ton of screen time in the game, which makes it a bit tricky, but from what we see of him, he's just kind of there. Big Bear used to be this tough guy back in the day, right? He was somebody in the Grove Street families, but by the time we meet him in the game, he's completely strung out on crack and basically being used as a servant by B-Dub. And honestly, that's just sad more than anything else. The thing about Big Bear is he's not really doing evil stuff. He's a victim of his circumstances and his addiction. Yeah, he's involved with the gang life, but he's not out here plotting and scheming and hurting people for fun. He's just trying to get through the day, probably trying to get his next hit. When CJ helps him get clean later in the game, Big Bear actually seems grateful. He's not bitter or vengeful or trying to cause more problems. He's just relieved to be out of that situation. That doesn't sound like an evil person to me. That sounds like someone who got caught up in bad circumstances and bad choices. Big Smoke. Man, where do I even start with this guy? He's solidly in the evil category, and honestly I thought about putting him higher. He betrays everyone, his whole crew, his neighborhood, everything Grove Street stood for. And why? Money and power. That's it. He saw an opportunity to get rich by working with the Ballas and Tenpenny, and he took it without thinking twice about who he'd have to hurt to get there. The man literally sets up his own homies to get killed. He's there when CJ's mom gets murdered. There's theories that he was involved in that too, which, if that's true, that's beyond evil, that's demonic. But even if he wasn't directly involved, he definitely used that tragedy to position himself better. And throughout the early game, Smoke is pretending to be CJ's friend. He's acting all loyal and supportive while secretly working against Grove Street the whole time. That's not just evil, that's calculated evil. That takes a special kind of person to look your friends in the eye every day while planning their downfall. But why he's not in the devil tier? Smoke still has some, I don't want to say humanity, but he's got limits. He's not torturing people for fun. He's not going out of his way to cause suffering just because he can. His evil comes from greed and ambition, not from enjoying cruelty itself. When you confront him at the end, he even has that whole speech about how he got caught up in things. He's making excuses, sure, but there's at least some recognition that maybe he went too far. A true devil tier character wouldn't even have that moment of reflection. Still though, Smoke is evil, he's a traitor, he's selfish, and he destroyed his own community for personal gain. That's pretty damn evil in my book. CJ is in the good category, and I know some people might push back on this, like, the guy kills hundreds of people throughout the game, how is he good? But context matters here. CJ didn't want this life. He left Los Santos specifically to get away from gang life. He was living in Liberty City, staying out of trouble, trying to be normal. He only comes back because his mum died, and then he gets immediately pulled back into all the chaos. Everything CJ does in the game, he's doing to protect his family and his neighborhood. Yeah, he's killing people, but he's killing people who are actively trying to kill him and destroy his community. That's different than killing for profit or for fun. CJ also shows genuine care for people throughout the game. He helps Cesar even though Cesar is dating his sister, and he's not thrilled about that. He looks out for Sweet even when Sweet is being ungrateful and stubborn. He helps Woozie without expecting anything in return. He even tries to help Maddie Dog when he's suicidal. The guy has a moral compass. When he sees someone in trouble who doesn't deserve it, he helps them. When he sees corruption and abuse of power, he fights against it. That's hero behavior, not villain behavior. Sure, his methods are violent, but we're talking about GTA San Andreas here. The entire world is violent. You can't survive in that world by being passive. CJ does what he has to do to survive and protect the people he loves, and he doesn't go beyond that unless pushed. So yeah, good tier. CJ is one of the most genuinely good protagonists Rockstar has written, honestly. He's not perfect, but his heart is in the right place almost all the time. Oh boy, Catalina. This woman is pure chaos, and she absolutely belongs in the devil tier. Catalina is not just evil, she's unhinged. She's violent for the sake of being violent. She enjoys causing pain and suffering, she gets off on it. That's psychopath behavior right there. Every single mission with Catalina is just her screaming and threatening to kill people, including CJ, for basically no reason. She holds CJ at gunpoint constantly. She threatens to torture and murder random people they're robbing, and she seems to think this is all hilarious and fun. The woman has no loyalty to anyone. She uses CJ, then immediately starts dating Claude from GTA 3 just to make CJ jealous, even though she's the one who broke up with him. She double-crosses everyone she works with. She can't be trusted for even 5 minutes. What puts her in devil tier instead of just regular evil is that she's not doing this for money or power, really. I mean, yeah, she wants money, but it's not about that. She could rob places quietly and efficiently, but instead she makes everything as violent and chaotic as possible because that's what she enjoys. She's cruel for cruelty's sake. She's also completely unpredictable, which makes her even more dangerous. You never know when she's going to snap and start shooting us. There's no reasoning with her, no appealing to her better nature because she doesn't have one. Devil tier characters are the ones who seem to enjoy making the world worse. They're not just doing bad things for understandable reasons, they're doing bad things because something is genuinely wrong with them psychologically, and that's Catalina in a nutshell. Cesar lands at neutral, and honestly he's probably one of the most genuinely decent people in the game despite being involved in gang life. Cesar is dating Kendall and he clearly actually cares about her, like, genuinely cares. He's respectful, he's protective but not controlling, and he stays loyal to her throughout the entire game. In the GTA universe, that alone is remarkable. He also stays loyal to CJ even when there's no benefit to him. He helps CJ out multiple times, shares information about what's happening with the ballast and smoke, and never asks for anything in return. He's just being a good friend and brother-in-law, but he's not in the good category because at the end of the day, he's still a gang member. He's still involved in criminal activity. He's stealing cars, he's running with Varios Los Aztecas, he's doing illegal stuff. It's not particularly violent or cruel, but it's still not good. Neutral feels right for Cesar because he's a good person operating in a bad world. He's doing what he has to do to survive and protect his people, but he's not going out of his way to hurt innocent people. He's got honor and loyalty, which matters. Tenpenny is devil tier, and honestly he might be the most evil character in the entire game. Yeah, I know Catalina is crazy, but Tenpenny is worse because he's got power and authority and he abuses it constantly. This man is supposed to be a police officer, he's supposed to protect people and uphold the law. Instead, he's running the biggest criminal operation in the city while hiding behind his badge. That's next level evil right there. Tenpenny murders people and covers it up. He deals stuff, he extorts people, he plays gangs against each other to keep them killing each other so he can profit from the chaos. And the worst part is he does all this while acting like he's the good guy, keeping the streets clean. The man has zero conscience. When he kills Pendlebury, another cop who was actually trying to do the right thing, Tenpenny doesn't even hesitate. He just does it and moves on like it's nothing. That's cold-blooded psychopath behavior. He's perpetuating the gang violence that keeps neighborhoods like Grove Street broken and poor, and he's doing it all while wearing a badge and pretending to be protecting and serving. Tenpenny also seems to genuinely enjoy the power he has over people. He likes making CJ do things for him. He likes being able to threaten people and know they can't fight back because he's a cop. That's sadism combined with institutional power, which is about as evil as it gets. Samuel L. Jackson absolutely killed this role, by the way. He made Tenpenny terrifying and charismatic at the same time, which is perfect for a devil tier character. Jimmy Hernandez is somewhat evil, and honestly this one's kind of sad because you can see he didn't start out wanting to be a bad guy. So Hernandez is Tenpenny's partner, and it's pretty clear he's trapped. He's not as corrupt as Tenpenny and Pulaski, but he goes along with what they're doing because he's scared of them and scared of what happens if he doesn't cooperate. That doesn't excuse his actions. He's still part of CRASH and everything they're doing to destroy communities. Being afraid doesn't make it okay, it just makes it more understandable. You can see the guilt on him. He's not enjoying what they're doing like Tenpenny is. He's not thriving in it like Pulaski. He's suffering because he knows it's wrong, but he's too scared to do anything about it. And eventually, he does try to do something about it. He starts cooperating with internal affairs to bring down Tenpenny and Pulaski. That shows he had some good in him still, even if it took him way too long to act on it. But the fact remains that he let a lot of bad stuff happen before he finally grew a spine. He was complicit in all of it, so somewhat evil feels right. He's not a good person, but he's not irredeemably evil either. He's just weak and scared and made bad choices because of it. Kendall is good, pretty straightforwardly. She's one of the few characters in the game who isn't involved in violence or criminal activity in any meaningful way. Kendall gets frustrated with her brothers because they're so wrapped up in gang life and she can see it's destroying them and their neighborhood. She wants better for her family. She wants them to move past the gangbanging and build something real. That's a good, healthy perspective. She's also loyal and supportive even when her family is being difficult. Sweet doesn't want her dating Cesar, but she stands by Cesar because she knows he's a good guy. She believes in him, and she ends up being right about that. Pulaski is evil, straight up. He's Tenpenny's right-hand man, and he's just as corrupt and violent, maybe even more brutal in some ways. Pulaski is a racist piece of garbage who clearly gets off on having power over people, especially minorities. The way he talks to CJ and others, you can tell he enjoys being able to intimidate and threaten them. He's not just doing corrupt cop stuff for money, he genuinely seems to hate the people he's supposed to be serving. He's also a coward though, which is interesting. When things start falling apart and Tenpenny starts losing control, Pulaski panics. He's not as calculating or confident as Tenpenny, he's more of a brutal enforcer who needs someone else to tell him what to do. That scene in the desert where he's going to kill CJ and Hernandez, that shows you exactly who Pulaski is. He's ready to execute 2 people in cold blood to save his own skin. No hesitation, no remorse, just pure survival instinct and willingness to do whatever it takes. He's evil tier because he's actively making the world worse for his own benefit. But he's not devil tier because he lacks the intelligence and calculated cruelty of someone like Tenpenny. Pulaski is more of a mad dog. He's dangerous and violent and completely corrupt, but he's not a mastermind. He's just a bad person with a badge and a gun. Ryder is somewhat evil, and honestly he's kind of a tragic character when you think about it. Ryder starts out as one of CJ's homies, right? He's Grove Street, he's supposed to be family, but he ends up betraying them and working with Poke and the Ballast. That's a major betrayal, but it's also different than Choke's betrayal. The thing about Ryder is he's not as smart as Smoke. He's more of a follower. I think Smoke probably manipulated him into going along with the plan by making it sound like they were helping Grove Street somehow, or by offering him money and status. Ryder got played almost as much as everyone else did. That doesn't excuse what he does though. He's still part of the conspiracy against Grove Street. He's still shooting at his former friends. He's still working to destroy his own neighborhood. Even if he was manipulated into it, he made the choice to go along with it. He's not as calculated or cold-blooded as Smoke. He's just a small-time hustler who thought he was going to come up, and by the time he realized how deep he was in, it was too late to back out. Ryder's also kind of paranoid and insecure throughout the game, which makes sense for someone who knows they're betraying their friends but doesn't have the stomach for it like Smoke does. He's in over his head. Sweet is neutral, and this might be controversial, but hear me out. Sweet is absolutely committed to Grove Street and protecting his neighborhood. That's admirable in a lot of ways. He's loyal, he's brave, he's willing to put his life on the line for his community. Those are good qualities, but Sweet is also incredibly stubborn and stuck in his ways. He refuses to see that the world is changing and Grove Street needs to evolve or die. He's so focused on the old ways of doing things that he can't adapt, and that ends up hurting everyone. Throughout the game, Sweet makes decisions based on pride and tradition rather than what's actually best for everyone. That's not evil, but it's not good either. It's just stubbornness and ego. But he's not evil either because his intentions are genuinely to protect his people. He's not in it for money or power. He actually cares about Grove Street and the families there. He's just going about it in a way that's not really helping anyone. Woozie is good, and honestly he might be the most genuinely likable character in the entire game. Yeah, Woozie runs a triad gang. Yeah, he's involved in organized crime. But in the context of the GTA universe, he's one of the most honorable and decent people you meet. Woozie is loyal to his friends. When CJ needs help, Woozie provides it without hesitation. When Woozie needs help, CJ helps him, and they build a genuine friendship based on mutual respect. That's rare in this game where everyone is stabbing everyone else in the back. He's also fair in his business dealings. He doesn't cheat people or double-cross his partners. When he makes a deal, he keeps his word. Again, in the GTA universe, that's practically saintly behavior. He's respectful, he's kind. He doesn't look down on anyone. And despite being blind, which you'd think would make him vulnerable in the criminal world, he's earned everyone's respect through his character and intelligence. The only reason some people might say he shouldn't be in good tier is the whole triad thing. But honestly, we don't see Woozie doing anything particularly evil throughout the game. We don't see him ordering hits harm civilians. His criminal activity seems more focused on business operations and rivalries with other criminal organizations. Good tier makes sense for Woozie because in every interaction we see, he's being a stand-up guy. He's one of the few people in the game you can actually trust and rely on. So we are done. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and what you want to see next. Also, another video about San Andreas is lined up, so subscribe or you will miss it. Thanks for watching.